Hey, what's going on, guys? Richie Figs here, back with another video. And outside, just a couple of days of finishing up New York Comic Con, Storm Arena says, hey, how about a couple more variants? And what the are these? So yeah, we're going to talk about what they are, why they are, when they are, and what this means. And I have some important news that you guys need to pay attention to with Storm Arena. We got a lot to talk about for a Tuesday. Let's go. Taking a look at the first figure here, what the hell do we have in front of us? Well, it's funny you should ask, because this is Street Fighter Alpha 3 Storm Arena Ryu V-ISM version. And it is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. It's going to be $29.99. It looks like the satisfaction date on this is going to be in December of 2025. It does include a small tariff surcharge, so where that's at that point is anyone's guess, but what is a V-ISM? Well, let's find out. So it is a fighting style that replaces a character's standard super combo with a variable combo. Similar to Alpha 2, V-ISM is known for its high speed and defense but lower damage. It also allows players to perform custom combos that are activated by pressing two buttons of the same strength, such as medium punch and medium kick. So I had no idea. I had heard of the different isms throughout the alpha, but I had no idea what this one was referring to, and I assumed that we had gotten all the other ones so far, so I knew that these were eventually going to be a thing. I just didn't know they'd be so fast, and I didn't know they'd be of translucent color. Now, this is where it's going to get really interesting on how far are you going to go down the rabbit hole of Storm Arena. This one, even for me, I'm like, okay, because, I mean, I'm all for a translucent figure, but I feel like there's got to be a better way to do this, because the main thing that I'm seeing is you can't really see the faces. Like, I know they're there because I can see, like, if you look real close, you can tell that there's obviously a face there, but I mean, these are definitely for the niche and the all-in collectors. And I know what you're probably saying. You know, I know. Where are the other figures? We'll talk about that in the overview, but there is one more of these guys, and let's go take a look at him. But real quick before we do, it is going to come with your standard exclusive head. So it looks like there's going to be the yelling and just the standard heads that came with the traditional Ryu. However, this Ryu does come with a different effect color in the fireball instead of his traditional blue. Something to note. Might be worth it to get this one with that being in mind. But then again, I don't know. We'll talk about it all just in a second. Taking a look at the next exclusive, where there will be a Ryu, there will also be a Ken. We are also going to be getting one of the V-ISM Kens. Same story here. So as far as the release date, still December. They're going to come out at the same time, December 2025. So they are sneaking in a couple more player twos. Granted, I mean, what are we, only a couple, 2 or 3 days outside of New York Comic Con, and they're already dropping more player twos. Don't be surprised if maybe we see some variants from the BAKI line by the end of this year. And then also maybe if they can get SAGAT out, wouldn't be shocked if we could, the way how fast they have gotten these player twos out, you best believe we're going to see some variants of SAGAT, and that's the one I'm really, I'm all in on the player twos of SAGAT. But these other ones, again, we'll talk about my thoughts and opinions on all the player twos and kind of what's going on with Storm and everything like that, because I know there's questions, but there's other things outside of the player twos with Storm Arena I want to talk to you about. But before we do that, let's take a look at Ken. For some reason, Ken has actually been selling better than the Ryu in the Arena line so far, but I don't know if that means you guys are getting the V-ISM. I do have a picture, or should have shown a picture already, on what the V-ISM effect. It's really like a shadow effect from what their current version is. So it's almost like a shadow that kind of it's almost like it's almost like an effect. Yeah, like a shadow. I had it right the first time. It's like a shadow. But I feel like these probably would have done better with like a 2-pack of like another standard version of them instead of their own, single off release. But, whatever you got to do to fill the time until we get new figures. And this is going to be just like any of the exclusive Kens. So whatever exclusive Ken came with as far as head sculpts, that's going to be. So you're going to get the yelling, the smirk, and then the smile, I think, is what he comes with. Nothing changes, though, as far as the effect color or the hands or anything like that. And you're still going to get the stand. But again, $29.99 plus whatever, tariff charges are there at that time. And these are due out December, Q4. let's go talk about the grand overall scheme of things and where we're at. And yeah, we'll talk about one Storm Arena release that came out too. There's another Blanka player too, so we'll talk about that too. Maybe we can throw that in there. That is going to be our first look at the brand new exclusives for Big Bad Toy Store, the V-ISM for Ryu and Ken Street Fighter Alpha 3. Now, there was one more exclusive that they did throw with this group. It is a collectibles. This is not a Storm Arena, so this is the bigger scale. It is this yellow and green Blanka, and I'm not going to lie, this is probably my favorite one out of the two. Out of the two variants that we got, the yellow and blue, and then that turquoise one. But granted, this one's a lot cheaper than those other ones. I think the other ones were somewhere in the 150 range, and that Blanka that's currently listed on Big Bad Toy Store, the yellow and green, is going to be listed at $99. So back to where we started from with this figure, but I don't see anything new. It's literally just a repaint, but I'm not going to lie, I am kind of tempted to get this one because this one actually looks really cool to me. But let's talk about the V-ISM, or the peanut butter and jelly Ryu and Ken. They do look like jelly to me. I don't know why. I can't get that out of my mind that they're like grape jelly. But it is a V-ISM. It is a thing. But man, they are really starting to get the deep cuts, and they are really starting to throw out these figures. I told you guys that Storm Arena, you guys thought they were slow. Well, there were a few things that caused that slowness. One being, well, the whole world pretty much shut down for about a year and a half with COVID, so that definitely is going to put a halt on things. And then the tariffs haven't helped anybody out, but once things have kind of gotten caught up to speed, they really can pump these things out, and especially in the Player 2 version. So, I mean, it's even blown me away on how quick they're actually getting these out. Am I all in? Am I getting these isms? I'm in for one. I mean, and it's not definitely like I'm super excited for these, but I do think I'm going to be in on everything Alpha. I'm definitely not going to be in on everything Baki and some of the other properties, but Street Fighter I will be in on all. I'm not doubling up on these, that's for damn sure, but I do want to have the representation for them, and I do want for you guys, obviously, to see in review form what they look like, how they, if they, feel any different, if it hinders the articulation or anything like that. I mean, it just looks like a stiffer plastic, but, we won't know until we get them in hand. So, with that being said, a couple things to note, guys. Storm Arena, I don't know if you know, is pretty popular, and I got a lot of people coming up to me lately in the comments, not in person. I don't know why I said coming up to like you guys are reaching out to me in the streets or anything like that. But in the comments, I've seen a lot of people say, I can't find Ken at retail cost. He's sold out everywhere. Well, like I said, these things are going to go quick. Storm does not restock like your traditional other retailers companies, not retailers, but Hasbro, McFarlane, things of that nature. Storm has been notoriously known for taking forever, if at all, that they do restocks. Guys, you cannot wait on these. If you want these figures, if you're going to be in on the Storm Arena line, you got to get them while the getting's good. They're not going to show up at your Rosses. They're not going to go on deep discount. Well, I don't know. Maybe this purple one will. But as far as the traditional Player 1 costumes, if you want in, you better get in. Because now, Ken being sold out, there, I don't know if they're going to restock on Big Bad Toy Store. And that's where, Ryu is still available. If you need a Ryu, I'm telling you now, and you don't have one, get him now. Because as soon as that thing gets sold out, I am seeing these things already, as far as Ken, be in the 50 to 60 to, I've seen them as high as $80 on the aftermarket. So guys, I'm telling you right now, this is not one of those lines you play the discount game for, because if you do, you will lose that game fast. So I wanted to talk about that. And then, yeah, I mean, it seems like Storm is really pumping these out, and I'm getting a lot of people also saying, well, why are they pumping these out and not getting the other figures out? First of all, again, the only figures that they promised for 2025 was Ken, Ryu, Baki, Yujiro, and Sagat. And so far, they're 4 for 5 so far. We just need to make sure that Sagat comes out this year, and with the way they're pumping things out, I would assume that they're going to be. But again, for those that don't know, repaints are literally just a reorder with the factory, but you tell them, hey, I want this plastic instead of this plastic and this color instead of this color. That's it. It literally stops nothing else with production on getting the new figures out or halts or slows anything up. It's literally just a piece of paper that they send to the factory and say, instead of this color, instead of this plastic, this plastic. It's that fast. So for those that thinking that these are halting anything, like moving forward, and this is slowing up getting Charlie or Dan or Chun-Li or any of that, no, not the case. In fact, this is a good way, again, to keep their property out there and known while we wait for those figures because, yeah, I mean, product is product, and believe it or not, there are going to be people that buy every version or a lot of these versions of the different figures. So, no, it doesn't slow up the process for any of the other figures or anything like that, and you guys seem to think that Storm Arena is moving slow. I mean, we've gotten 5 player 2s within the last 3 weeks, or excuse me, did I say 3 weeks? Try 3 days. I mean, it's literally been since Comic-Con that we've gotten what did we get? So Wonderfest was the weekend before. So within the last almost 2 weeks, we've gotten 5 player 2s, and for some reason, I don't think they're done. If they can pump them out this fast, then I guarantee we're going to see a lot more variants. But I want to see them in the different properties. I want to see about Baki and Yujiro, and I want to get that Sagat out, man. That's the one I'm waiting on, and hey, pump a player 2 out all day for the Sagat. But again, guys, if you guys want these figures, Ryu is in stock still for Big Bad Toy Store. Again, Storm only officially releases these figures as like their exclusive retailer through Big Bad Toy Store. The rest of them, they can set the prices at whatever they want because they're a third party buying these in bulk from some other source to get them into their store. They can price them at whatever they want. Big Bad Toy Store obviously prices them at what they want to as well. But what I'm trying to say is the moral of the story, this is not a line you can wait on deep discount for. Okay, I know you can do that with some of the Hasbro and the McFarlane. Hell, you can't really even do it with McFarlane anymore for a lot of them. But yeah, as far as the purple, am I in? I'm in on this one. I've seen a lot of people being out just because there needed to be a little bit of a wash. I feel like a little bit of a block wash or some black wash or something of detail to really bring out like the facial features and things like that. I don't know how you really do that with translucent figures, but I know that there's a popularity with translucent figures too, and it is part of the game. It's not like it's some random thing. It is part of the V-ISM. So that is a thing within Street Fighter Alpha 3. I don't know if people wanted this, but would have loved to see this maybe as like an exclusive at a con where they released the normal Ken and then had this as like a 2-pack with it. I feel like that would have been better, but then hey, more money for them in their pocket at the end of the day, and it fills the void. The void of not getting the newer figures out until Q1, Q2 of the Charlies, the Dans, we should still be seeing Sagat as far as I know this year, but, it's a good way to get, keep their name out there and product out there, and, if you want it, great. If not, pass on by, and I'll get a review out either way, and then I included this Blanka, even though I'm out on the collectibles line. I actually thought this one was pretty cool. So, other than that, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you in? Are you out on Jelly and Jelly Ken and Jelly Ryu, or are you skipping this one? I wouldn't doubt you. I wouldn't blame you if you skipped out on this one, but I think I'm in for all of them, at least one. So until I get sick of it, or it gets too expensive, or it gets too ridiculous. So. That might not be far away either. So other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you on the next one. Richie Figs. Later.